Welcome back to On Occasion with...
I'm Chris.
And I'm Canaan. And this is it. This episode, we're diving into wedding venues.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about tips, things to think through as a couple, and then maybe even some helpful things if you're thinking about starting a venue, or maybe you've got a venue and you're going to remodel, and here's going to be some helpful ideas to think through from like the photography side of the aesthetic, really.
Yeah. We could talk about like make sure there's enough parking spaces for all your guests, but that's not really in line with our.
We don't really care.
Well, not.
Yeah.
We're
empathetic, but like we're not worried about that side of things.
No, we're not photographing.
We're worried about how pretty it is.
Yeah.
As two adult straight men.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Here we go.
So with that in mind, you're engaged. He popped the question, she popped the question, whatever. You're engaged. You're looking for a venue, and we're going to try to lead you down the line to find the place that's going to work best for you and remembering the day creatively.
Yeah.
So
first thing to think through, I would say, is like one, obviously date available, but from the aesthetic side of things, size of the venue, making sure that whatever venue you're choosing matches the guest count comfortably.
That's a good word. That's the highlighted word, I think.
Yeah, because there are a lot of like really beautiful venues that like have a cool aesthetic. They got that on point, lots of flowers and greenery and landscaping, whatever. The design's great, but it's like 2 living rooms in terms of size. And so if you've got like 150 people you're trying to cram in there, not going to work out too well.
Yeah. Now, why does that affect you as a photographer?
As a photographer, it affects us because there's no space to take photos. So like if you're trying to cram everyone into a tiny little space, let's say even just not even for like formals or anything else, for cocktail hour alone or for a reception alone. If I'm like trying to navigate a space for your first dance and it's like a crowded living room concert session where everyone's sitting on the floor and everyone's just crammed in there like sardines, your pictures are going to be crap because I can't move.
Right. And for the guest experience,
that's also
not ideal
bad,
either, just trying to get around.
Yeah, my ass is in their face.
Yeah,
it's a hot day.
You got a big ass.
I can't guarantee what's going on,
Right. I remember once I was, we got our camera straps hanging down. The cameras I'm just running. When I'm in photo mode, I'm just like.
You're moving.
I'm moving. And I was going through a reception area and this like couldn't have been more than 4-year-old boy tried to walk past me and I was on the move. My camera just slammed him in the head, dude. And I heard it. I looked back and he's holding his head. But I just, in the moment, I'm like, well, tough shit, I got a job to do. Your mom will take care of it.
It's like those Instagram videos where like the guy's trying to close the fridge. He's like slamming it. And then he like pauses and looks down. And it's like his kid's head was in the fridge. It's exactly like.
I've missed that one.
That's what that makes me think of. I've actually had that happen too. Not to a kid. It was to an adult. I don't know why they were sitting on the ground. But I was like trying to slide through a space and the camera just, right in the ear. Like
really
just smacked them so hard. And I turn around and they're like crying, holding their ear. But I didn't realize I did it. So I was like, man, that's weird. I wonder what happened. And I kept moving. And then I hear this older woman go, some Sharon go, that photographer just hit him in the ear. So I just ran. I just kind of scuttled off real fast.
Which photographer? Like, there's so many.
As if she's not going to find me later on in the day. But that, that sort of fight or flight kicked in and I definitely ran. So.
Can I tell a story about refrigerators that's not related to photography at all?
Sure, I think that's great.
Well, you just said no. We just leave it.
No, we just stay focused on venues.
Have you met my friend the nun, Mother Tamara, the Orthodox nun?
Yeah, she's great.
You've been there, right?
Yeah, it's super cool place to photograph too.
Yeah, so this very Orthodox nun that I'm friends with.
That is like the most accurate description.
But one time she got in trouble because she like double fingered the bishop during a service, So she's a little edgy.
You may need to explain what you mean by that first.
Like, she flipped him the bird.
Okay, that's what I mean. But that needed more.
But anyway, so thank you.
Jesus Christ.
The appropriate time to say his name. So one time I was visiting her and she was telling me that a couple of days prior to this, in the middle of the night, she woke up and wanted a popsicle in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So she comes out of her cloister and she's got her, is it a habit I think they wear? She's got that on.
Muumuu?
Yeah, something like that.
Orthodox
Just
muumuu.
all
Yeah,
black.
solid.
So she goes to the refrigerator.
So hot.
And she opens up the freezer side, one of those, double doors, freezer, fridge. She opens that up and she gets a popsicle. She eats it, goes back to sleep. And she hears this meowing. It keeps waking her up from sleep. And she had all these kittens at the time. If you're in a monastery, you got to have cats running around.
Yeah.
It's part of the thing.
Nice.
So she goes back to the kitchen. She hears this meowing and she just can't find. She's looking under like the cabinets, whatever. Can't find it. Goes back to bed. Anyways, wakes up in the morning.
Oh no!
And goes to get something out of the freezer, and she opens it, and this kitten had, while she was getting her popsicle the night before, crawled into the freezer, and she had closed him in, but she had smashed his tail. So anyway, the cat lives through the freezer for like 7 hours.
It was alive?
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to
Except-
say like there's a frozen cat.
Well, it was shivering for sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
as one does.
Yeah, but his tail fell off
Nice. So
because it was shutting the door.
Kind of like went gecko mode on it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was scared and just dropped the tail.
Yeah, just dropped the just dropped the tail and ran.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So if you're gonna book a venue, you wanted to have large commercial kitchen freezers.
Yeah. Make sure whatever cats are on the venue property don't get locked in the freezer
Yeah.
when you're in moo mode for a popsicle.
All right. Next.
Next, I would say, I mean, gosh, I think we should just go in no particular order here. Next would be like rainy day plan.
Oh yeah.
In my mind, like when you're thinking through venues and thinking through, let's say it's May right now. So let's say like you're getting married in May, rainy May showers. So no, April showers being May flowers.
I don't know.
Whatever. It
May
still rains
showers-
a lot in May here. So thinking through like, does your venue have enough space for you to do your formals, your bridal party photos, all that kind of stuff if there is rain?
Right.
Right now I have a wedding this coming weekend and it's looking like it's going to rain all day. And their venue is like super tiny, real cute venue, but there's no space to do anything.
Really?
So
did they rent a tent in case?
no, there's no space for that either. Really? So
Wow.
we're going to have, right now I'm like trying to figure out like, is there a boutique hotel nearby that'll let us kind of shoot?
Oh,
that's
for the
stylized
actual
formals and
yeah.
stuff. Cause there's no rain plan.
What
So-
about the ceremony if it rains?
Well, the ceremony's inside. There's space for that.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying like this venue is basically one room
Okay.
and like a patio.
Yeah.
That's it.
And what about for the reception? They'll flip it?
They'll have to use the covered patio and indoor outdoor space. Yeah. And do it that way. I'm not sure what their plan is.
Yeah.
That's one of the hard parts about a small venue, even if it's cute.
Yeah, and I've seen some venues where for a rain day plan, they essentially are like, you're gonna have to rent a tent.
Oh, they
Yeah.
like force you to rent a tent?
Well, I don't force you, but it's just because either there's not room to flip the ceremony to reception.
Sure.
There's only one space.
Yeah.
And so they recommend renting a tent just in case.
Right.
But then you're spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for a tent large enough that may or may not be needed.
on a maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which gets hard. So like, and then, like there's a lot of challenges with venues as far as like, there might be venues that are big enough, but it's out of your budget. There might be venues that are big enough, but their date's not available. Like, but really that is an important thing to think through. Or talking to your photographer to be like, hey, venue doesn't have a rain day plan. Let's create one. Because that is like part of our responsibility to be like, okay,
Absolutely.
I need to have a game plan in place for this if this happens. And definitely don't put it all on the couple because they're going to be like, I don't know, there's a Costco down the street. We could get inside. I have a membership, which maybe that could be that actually might be we can make that fun maybe. But, don't put that
not
all on the
ideal.
couple. You should help them.
What
That's my point.
You had any moments where you photographed in the rain?
Lots. And I think it all depends on the couple if you do get stuck in the rain. Completely contingent on the couple.
Oh, absolutely.
Not completely. It also depends on your demeanor as well. Like you can really help the couple pivot to have a good time. Or you can be like, well, this sucks. My vision for the day is ruined. And I would say you suck if you do that as a photographer.
Oh,
because
definitely.
it's not your day.
Oh, yeah. I would rather, and I do, I'd rather risk equipment nonstop to get the photos for clients. And, cameras break, lenses break.
Well, that's why you get shit insured.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I don't know if even we have insurance that covers water damage. It's a whole nother policy.
We do.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
You
okay.
should.
Well, I hope I do. I don't know. What's it called? It's called
How many
is
times
it
have you
marine
fallen in the
insurance?
creek?
I've fallen in a waterfall once.
Well, you've fallen in water
With
multiple
gear on.
times. Do we have a photo of you in the creek with a couple splashing water on
Really?
each other? Yeah. It's
engagement session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than, I mean, other photos too.
The way you described it sounded like we're all just, all three of us
All
are
three of
just
us.
in the middle of it. Let's take a break from this at the photos.
No, but like, all that to say, rainy day plan, super important. Collaborate with your couple.
Can I share my most
Oh,
recent
yeah.
photographing in
Yeah.
the rain? So it was this past December. It was a wedding in Huntsville, Alabama. And anyways, there's a hotel there that the couple was staying in, but the hotel didn't want us to photograph in the hotel.
That's such a weird thing. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah.
I know. Yeah, it was a shame. But anyways, it was a nice hotel. So we're staying there, a couple staying there. They didn't want us to take photos in the hotel, but it was pouring rain outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were supposed to do first look and portraits in Huntsville before going to the venue. So what ends up happening is I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing the first look in the valet area. And the valet dudes were cool. They moved. But so I had the groom lined up. It's pouring rain, but the valet's covered. Mm-hmm. So he's ready for her to come out the hotel doors. And right as she walks out over the PA system for the hotel, it just starts playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer out of it. And I'm like, this is their moment, you know? They've been waiting for this moment for a lifetime. And she walks up to him and he turns around, old Rudolph, you know? Super romantic. But then we just ran around the city and photographed in the rain. They were super cool about it.
Right.
We got a lot of stuff. It was fun.
Which like makes a difference because, I mean, gosh, when it's raining, it really does like you have to lean into it. Mm-hmm. Have to be okay with making moves on the fly in terms of where you're going to shoot, jumping around to different locations, and anticipating like people saying no. Or really, as a photographer, if you haven't learned this yet, when it comes to like shooting in places you're not sure you can shoot, it's much better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Man, I feel like the age I am now, I feel the other way.
Really?
Yeah, like even that day as soon as I knew it was raining, I ran around downtown Huntsville and found like this little wine shop, a couple of the places that I'm like, hey, could I photograph in here? And they were totally cool with it. I just have gotten yelled at so much and have been arrested twice for doing things that.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also like having people climb on fireplaces and, you know, swing from chandeliers. Mm-hmm. So
like big toga parties,
right?
Things like that.
So, I mean, there's a difference, I think, maybe between people who come in and like do some candid movement stuff and then people who are like, let's move this entire lounge space in the lobby around.
I know. And then I do that and then I get frustrated. I'm like, I didn't get what I wanted.
And then you're like, you're mad at the hotel because they didn't give you what you wanted when you did it.
I want a key to the city when I show up to photograph. Okay, let's talk about natural light.
Big one. Probably the biggest one when it comes to the aesthetic at a hotel. Because when it comes
a venue, not just a hotel.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say
wedding
hotel.
venues.
Venue. Because when it comes to those situations, it's like you have so many venues that are like, especially if they're built from the ground up, it's like, what were you thinking? You put no windows in. You did like all this warm orange Edison bulb lighting. Everything's just yellow and gross.
You got shag carpet on the walls. I mean, what are we thinking?
But just like not thinking through the lighting situation for a venue is like, that's like, you're shooting yourself in the foot so bad. Because it's like, you get photos back. I've had so many venue owners be like, we get such terrible photos of our venue. And I'm like, well, I've seen the other photos they took from around the property. It's just that your venue sucks.
Yeah. We could do a whole episode on how to like think through the design of wedding venues. You know,
there was they actually just got hit by a tornado. But there's a venue here in Middle Tennessee that was started by photographers. They were photographers first, then they got married, I think. I don't know the full story, but got married, I think, and like opened this venue together. Gorgeous venue. It's a barn situation, but like gorgeous venue, had a gorgeous getting ready location. They put so much work into like just these gorgeous trees and all these vining flowers and just like these gardens.
And outdoor lighting.
Fantastic space. Great for, there was like so many pretty spaces that were they built in shade with the landscaping so that if it's like a super bright blue jay, clear sky, you can get out of the direct sun and like have, some balanced light, like just thought through all those things from a photographer perspective. And it's such a dream to shoot out there because they thought through all those different elements. And, I'm always like, I feel like photographers or videographers could have like a side hustle of consulting venues on the aesthetic and lighting
Absolutely.
situation
Yeah.
for venues. And that I feel like you want to set up your venue well for success if you're planning on doing weddings. Bring in some photographers' work that you love
in the planning process,
and have them like walk through the natural light and the aesthetic and the land. Like have them work through that with you. And I guarantee you your wedding venue will kill on that side of things.
This would probably be getting in the nitty gritty, but you know, when I first started, I learned that north facing windows are the best light for natural light photographers. And I think that I've learned to shoot
wherever,
various artistic means. I mean, so north facing windows let in the softest light, at least in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah. Yep.
And so a venue that's got a lot of north facing windows, it's just going to be a very soft, consistent light throughout the room. So definitely if you're a couple and you're looking for a venue and you want indoor natural light, you got to have windows. So I like the north facing because you get softer portraits, but also if it's like south facing or west facing, whatever, there's a little more harsh light, which you can play around more with lights and shadows. But and even like a little more specific, if you're getting ready you want a venue with natural light for getting ready. Yeah. I would say even try to talk through with your makeup artists if they don't have like a specific place they've set up in the getting ready area for brides to sit for hair and makeup. Have them sit by the window and like face the window. Yeah. Oftentimes makeup artists will put brides in chairs like facing away from the window. So now they're backlit, which is hard to expose correctly on their faces because their faces in the shadows often. So
yeah, which makes those getting ready portraits like hard to do.
Yeah.
Which can also just like affect the photos you're capturing of the makeup artist's work, which may not be the best representation of what they're doing.
We want to represent them well. You want to
represent all that well as well. I think that'd be a tip I would give to couples too, is like when you're touring a venue, if you say like the getting ready locations at the venue suck, if you have it in your budget, my recommendation would be to consider an alternate location for getting ready. That's going to have better light and a better aesthetic.
Absolutely.
If you really want those photos to be good.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to plan on having like the cute pajama robe pictures with the ladies after you're all getting ready, right? I mean, I don't wear cute pajamas as much as I used to, but I still love getting those photos.
I've noticed that recently.
I know. I just got my dad bod. It's just not as flattering as it used to be.
You want to talk about it off camera?
We can. Okay. Yeah, that might help me. But like, thinking through those things, getting ready in an offsite location, getting a hotel suite, getting an Airbnb, whatever it is, thinking through all that is important. Yeah, and this might go into timeline a little more, but if you're going to do that, my recommendation is try to get the guys and girls at the same spot. Get a big enough Airbnb to put the guys on floor 2 or something, or floor 1 and the ladies upstairs. Yeah. Or if you're at a hotel, get 2 suites. Right. Just for the timeline, because if they're at 2 locations, now we're it makes logistics way more difficult. Because then you got to, and then like if there's only one party bus picking everybody up or whatever's going on there, and you're like, okay, this is going to cut into 40 minutes of formals because we're just working on travel logistics. It's a nightmare. So what about outside spaces at a venue? What do you care about for outside spaces? Outside spaces, man. I mean, we can make anything work, but like if your venue is just one big green lawn and then there's like a row of trees half a mile away, your pictures aren't going to be very dynamic. We can pose you all day, but you're at the end of the day just in a big field, in a sunny field. I don't know why I was imagining a football field somewhere, but that's I'm not sure where those trees are. Like where there's venues where they're like, there's a nice green lawn. Yeah. That'd be great to play catch on. Not really great for photos. Right. So landscaping. I know landscaping can be expensive. I know it's like hard to build that stuff in if you don't have a budget for it as a venue or whatever. But if you're able to do something, even if it's one spot on the property that's like, hey, we're designing this location for photos. That's what we have the budget for. We can expand from there, but like picking one spot, I think is really important. Do you remember the Clay Theater down in Green Cove Springs, Florida? We shot at. Yep. When they I think we've all three been there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's like, they turned, there was an old theater they turned into this venue, and their primary space in the venue that's for the ceremony at least is out in that courtyard. And they spent the money to bring in full grown palm trees. They lowered them in by cranes and just
I don't know what, I guess you dig holes. Anyways, they put them in the ground.
You do. You dig a hole for
they
a
spent
tree.
the money knowing that like the aesthetic was important.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't like, let's plant a baby sapling and
Yeah,
let's give it 10,
yeah.
15, 20 years to grow. They just
Right.
went for it and to create the space for photographers to use.
Because I mean, like, obviously, I've never built a venue, so I don't know how the pricing and all this works. I would imagine if like your main reception space, if you just put like a big room, clean walls, that's kind of like a blank slate that people can bring stuff in and
Right.
dress up, and then save money there and then put money into other things like that for the aesthetic. That to me is like a way smarter move than doing like some wildly intricate design in a main space that people are going to cover with drapery and flowers and stuff anyway. Yeah, I don't know. That's for outdoor space. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Have a covered area for, if you can, for rain.
Yep.
And then having an aesthetically designed space for photos.
Yeah.
Whether that's a courtyard, whether that's a garden, whether that's, you know, a wall with some greenery vined on it. I don't know. Just think through it. Put some effort into that.
Yeah.
If you can. No
Right.
shade if it's not on the budget. I get it. That's a reality.
No shade.
But-
That's funny. Maybe it's just funny to me. I like the shade.
Yeah.
I want to take photos
Yeah,
in shade.
we want shade in a literal sense, not shade in a
Yeah.
I'm not dogging
I
on
also I've learned to work around this, but it is my preference when I'm photographing at a venue for the outdoor space to allow me to take photos in the direction of south and west. And the reason of that
I
is
just imagine people rolling their eyes.
I
when
know,
you're saying that.
but the reason is like if you're getting married at like 7 a.m., great. I can photograph to the north and the east because the sun's behind you.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way. But later in the day, if we're doing portraits after noon, like after 12 p.m., if I have people facing south or west, then the sun's just in their eyes, so they're doing this in all their photos. You know,
yeah,
looking
that's
like
true. This is a reality. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
So for me, I want to have landscaping on a venue to the south and west, so I can take
So they're
photos that
backlit.
direction. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
backlit. It's soft, or even if I have to put them in the shade,
Mhm.
there's still like a nice orange kind of warmth behind them.
Right.
I think really talented photographers get to the point where
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. You learn to photograph in such a way, even if it's just getting the couple to move. Right.
Yeah.
It creates the emotion, so it doesn't what their face looks like. Well, I mean, it matters. I guess their face looks like. But you know, like if you get them interacting with each other enough, then the expressions, the harshness of the sun,
Right.
is irrelevant.
And like the caveat here is this is all preference. This is all like this is our perspective on things.
Yeah.
If we're thinking through it as photographers, like a talented photographer is going to be able to work around whatever the situation is,
Right.
and create something out of it. That's I don't know. That's the gift of a matured, talented photographer who's experienced enough to be like,
Absolutely.
okay, this is how I can creatively think. Whatever is being thrown at me in terms of weather, lighting, because we don't get the luxury of a studio and controlled spaces.
Absolutely,
and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. We have to learn to shoot on the fly like that, which is different than having to have a controlled environment. So that's my perspective. You know, like what about? So do you think like? Oh, let's talk about churches.
Yeah.
So if I'm shooting in a church, my preference is some sort of liturgical institution
I actually feel
because
very similar.
there is architecture and design and usually pretty decent lighting, and you can just create a feel in those photos in those spaces more so than a lot of your modern churches, your evangelical spaces where it's just like millennial gray and
Millennial gray. I
and
feel like
like
you're describing that tone
you know
of churches.
just like just the design is just gross. It's just
well, there's
blah is the best way to put it.
it's a functional space. It wasn't built for form.
Right. So yeah, I get like if you're like, well, it's my home church. It's like cool. Just don't plan on your photos
Yeah.
being great. Just plan on them being like we documented it.
I also find that I've only shot one Orthodox wedding, I think, but I've shot tons of Catholic weddings, and I find that those event spaces, they typically are super friendly to photographers. Like we shot a Catholic. I think you shot with me at the cathedral.
Incarnation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
we
want to
shoot
call
there
it the
quite a bit.
Cathedral of Incarceration.
Incarceration. That's you know,
Because the first time I ever shot there, the bride, when she reached out on my contact
religion
form,
feels like that to some people. Anyway,
anyways, the Cathedral of Incarnation.
Yeah.
Not incarceration. Yeah. So we shot there recently, and dude, I was like, I don't know if I can keep taking further steps back behind I don't know if it's the altar. I don't know what it's called in the Catholic Church, but I just kept during the service.
You did.
I was like,
I watched
I'm
you.
gonna just keep going.
And I was waiting for some angry old woman with a stick.
They're
just
so
to
kind there.
come out of there at you.
Yeah.
I had an experience. I can tell a story real quick.
Please.
So I had last year. This was last year. This is the first time this ever happened to me. I missed a first kiss.
You were smoking in the girls' room.
Yeah, it was actually, and I got in big trouble for it too. But then after that, I missed the first kiss. That was just me hanging out before. So what happened was, we're at the back of the aisle. This church lady was a nightmare. Which, you know, shout out to church ladies. I know you got a big responsibility.
I take that job serious,
and you take it real seriously. So respect, kind of. But you know, this one was not great.
do you know how many church women are going to stop praying for you right now? You just condemned yourself.
Don't care.
Okay, I keep
it's not
going.
that deep. So I'm with the videographer. I'm actually with it was a really great crew. I can't remember her name right now, but she's part of John Meyer's crew. John Meyer's photography and videography. Yeah. Which you know, at the end of the story, big shout out to John, because he really did me a solid after this. So we're at the back of the cathedral. Beautiful church.
Cathedral?
Whatever it is. I don't know.
Where were you?
It's a
Well,
big,
you don't have to say where you
big
were.
Catholic church.
Okay.
On West End. I don't know.
I think that's the Cathedral Incarnation.
It's not Incarnation. It was
it's a different one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like St. Thomas or who knows?
Something.
Keep going.
It was pretty. Anyway, we're at the back. We're not allowed to go any further than the first 3 pews at the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm like, I got a 135. I'm all set up. And the church lady, all of a sudden, we're getting real close to the kiss, ceremony kiss. And church lady comes up and she like grabs me and pulls me to the side. And she's like, I just want to remind you that you're not allowed to go any further. And as she's doing this, my couple goes in for their kiss and I miss it. And then the church lady sees that happen.
Oh, no.
Panics, kind of does one of these, and then literally turns and scuttles like a little ladybug out of the room. I don't see her again. I have to do family photos. We did formals out there. I didn't see her. That she hid the rest of the day.
Oh,
I didn't see her again. So I was furious.
What'd you do?
I sweated a lot. I was soaking wet because I was so angry. Mm-hmm. Managed to recover. The entire time I'm panicking, thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this first kiss? Luckily, had a good working relationship with the videography team that day. And I was like, hey, how do I get footage of that first kiss? And she's like, no problem. Just email John. He should be able to link you up. And so I emailed John after the wedding. I'm like, hey, listen, I've never had this happen to me before. I'm very embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed to have to write this email, but I missed the first kiss at this wedding you guys were on. This was the date. This was the couple. And he shot me photos from every angle.
Wow.
He shot me like 8 photos. I was like, bro.
Yeah, he's a super kind dude.
Yeah. So I was like, and I've actually never met him in person, but his crews are always super great to work with. And I always hear like really great things with him. And then that email exchange, I was like, bro. I got on, like wrote a review on his thing afterwards, because I was just like, dude, you're just like, there was no pushback. There was no shame. He was just like, oh yeah, dude, I got you.
That's great, man.
Here's every angle of the first kiss. And I was like, come on, dude, you rock.
It's important to think, if you want to get married at your church or whatever, just knowing the rules before you sign the contract. Like, are they going to limit where your photographer can be? Because some of them like to keep the photographers in the balcony, or they won't let photographers in at all. Yeah. So you get to like get the photo from like the foyer of the bride walking down the aisle, and they close the doors.
Are they?
That's it.
Episcopalian? Is that liturgical?
Episcopalian. Equine.
Eschatological. Who are they?
That's it. Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces. So that was one of the. I've shot a few of those, and you're not allowed in. You have to shoot through glass.
Yeah.
Which is like...
like you have to bring your own glass?
Well, I bring my own glass, and then they make you shoot through their glass. Okay. So it's like sometimes double, quadruple glass. I
had a moment some years ago. I was a Methodist church where I just, I've been broken in life. Life has broke me down, people. I'll let you know that in so many ways. And so now I'm like...
Your heart's buried in a cornfield in Nebraska.
Yeah, dude. Well, my old heart. I got a new one. But... I don't give a shit anymore, dude. Tell me the rules, I'll follow them. I'm so tired of getting in trouble. But at this wedding at this Methodist church, this little 5'2" church lady was like, once the ceremony starts, you have to stand at the the back row, the back pew, or the second to back pew. You can't go any further forward. I was like, cool, thanks for telling me. And I like, in my head, I'm like, this is total arrogance. But I'm like, I have a master's in divinity. I worked as a hospital chaplain. I'm very like socially conscious. I'm not going to cause problems.
Yeah.
But they don't know this. Anyways, the ceremony starts. And at some point, I just think, I want to get closer.
Oh my God,
so I go down the aisle, maybe halfway down the aisle. And I'm aware, you know, people don't care. I'm right there taking photos. And I'm like, click, click. And then all of a sudden, I just feel these like arms around my waist. And I look down and I'm being hugged right here. And I turn and it's this 5'2" church lady. She's dragging me down the aisle, bro, like forcefully pulling me out of the church. And I'm like, you think I was the one causing the disturbance in this wedding? But that was at that point. I was like, okay, I submit to life. Whatever the parameters life is putting on me.
You submit to the 5'2" church lady.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Was she gentle?
Yeah,
that's nice.
It wasn't as nice as like some hugs I've gotten from other random strangers, but
you know,
yeah,
she didn't like dig her nails into you.
I was pissed, bro. But
it was like a little Ewok kind of coming up. And getting
like
arms around
like hairy legs. And,
yeah, nice. So hot.
Anyways, just know if you're getting married at your church, there could be some parameters that if you want your photographer behind you and the groom taking a photo back of the crowd, that might not happen.
Yeah, that's to your point when you're talking about like reviewing the contract, reviewing the rules, whatever.
Correct.
Because if you have a specific idea of what you want your ceremony photos to look like, which if you're getting married in a beautiful ceremony space, you most likely do have some sort of vision in mind as a couple. So like, or a bride at least. So thinking through that, because otherwise you're going to be sorely disappointed by parameters neither one of you can control.
Can I talk about flow?
Yeah. Like the insurance lady flow?
No,
Fidelity
I was
flow?
thinking about like I'm 41 and I have to wake up a lot at night and I got weak flow.
Okay. Yeah.
I wish that my jokes that I tell in here aren't true. I wish I could just make up jokes, but that's true.
I think the funniest jokes are the ones that are kind of true self-effacing jokes.
I actually photographed a wedding for some doctors once, and there were some urologists there. And I knew at this point in my life, this is some years ago, but I already had weak flow and I have a hard time starting sometimes. And so there were these urologists. The wedding ends. We're all doing the sparkler exit. And I go up to this guy afterwards. It's a urologist. And I was like, hey, man, off the books. But if I could find some rubber gloves right now, would you just,
give me a cup?
Yeah. Would you just follow me into the bathroom and
just kind of put some pressure?
Well, I don't think you know exactly. You've never had a prostate exam, I don't think.
I don't. I haven't.
No, there's more than just a cup going on. Anyways, he didn't write a negative review about me, but I also did not get a free prostate exam. I don't know. I also photographed a lot of lawyer weddings, and so there's some protection in there somewhere.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think that's where you're okay. Let's keep going.
I'm sorry. Flow.
Yeah.
From a photographer's perspective.
We're back on that. Got it.
Well, did you want to comment?
No, that was
about
good.
urology?
No.
Okay. Venues that have like a good like ceremony space and then a cocktail space and then a reception space.
You're talking about like creating separation between those three dynamic spaces.
I'm saying when you can have a venue that has multiple spaces,
right?
It allows there's just less stress and pressure on
everybody.
Because the ceremony happens here. Fine. Send everybody out in a cocktail hour. You want to stay family here maybe to get photos in the ceremony space? Great. And then if there's a separate reception space, you can photograph that. Well, once it's set up, everyone's setting up their candles and flowers and chargers, plates, whatever for the reception area.
Yeah.
So I just think the more flow there is, the easier it is to get around to photograph everything without more people getting in the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm having a hard time recovering after my urologist.
Well, no, like this even affects like
you can explain
planners. This affects everyone. If you're in a space where ceremony happened here and then everyone has to scuttle into it. I've been saying scuttle a lot.
Shuffle, scuttle.
Shuffle, scuttle. I don't know why that is. But anyway, so when you do that, you're kind of like stuck with this severe time limitation and you can't get around that. Like if you have to flip a room.
Yes.
If you want good photos of your reception space as a planner or designer or a venue itself, you're kind of screwing yourself because there's not going to be time to really get good photos when that timeline is that crunched on a flip. So yeah, I agree. Getting separate spaces if possible, or being able to think through those things, is really helpful.
Yep.
Because otherwise, bride's not getting those photos, planner's not getting the photos she wants,
Right.
florist isn't going to get anything.
Yeah.
It's just like everything, because you're just panicked the whole time, being like, well, okay, I snapped a couple, hope it worked out.
Right.
Like it sucks.
And if you're a couple that doesn't want to do a first look, then
then you're not getting any of that.
If your guests don't have somewhere to go,
Yeah,
then they might be all on your grill for photos,
right.
after the ceremony. So
For sure.
okay.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got anything else?
I mean,
Thinking
I
of
do,
venues?
but
you do?
we're kind of out of time.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
and we got other things coming.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So anyway, I feel good. You feel good?
I feel great.
You feel good, internet? Hey.
Okay. Are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
Hey. From nuns and moo-moos and frozen cats to rainy day plans
To urologists and bathrooms.
to urologists and rubber gloves.
Where else would they be?
I don't know. I mean, urologists really they're doing the Lord's work. That's a helpful person to have in your corner.
They are. And you know what surprises me about urologists? They work on the proctology side. That's what surprises me about urologists.
They work on the probing side of proctology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is great. Cool. Well, this is it. That's another episode, guys. Thanks for
Thank you for
tuning
being
in
with us.
And gosh, we get like a fourth of what we want to talk about in every episode.
Wow.
It sucks.
We know a lot.
We're trying to get there on terms of efficiency. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Find us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Find us on YouTube. We'll link.
And tell us what you want us to talk about.
And tell us what you want us to talk about. Because we got things, all sorts of things. The best things.
You want to sing that Little Mermaid song
I know
now?
I was about to do a Trump impression, but I don't know if it lands. Shane Gillis kind of nailed it. Anyway, take care, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next
See ya.
time. Bye.